New York gets everything. Every day, I thank the universe for letting me win the Spawn Point lottery, because we get all the pop-ups, yummy food, and every time a K-pop group goes on a world tour, you best bet New York is on that list. After falling down the K-pop rabbit hole, my dormant interest in singing was reawakened, and the oh-so-shiny world of K-pop was something I started desiring. As long as I ignored the human rights violations. So when ads for K-pop global auditions started appearing on my feed, I knew it was a chance I couldn't pass up. I was going to become a K-pop idol. I went to a total of 5 K-pop auditions, and each one was a little different. The first company I auditioned for was Pledis Entertainment. You had to email in a written application and singing clip, and if you passed that, they'd tell you the location for the in-person audition. Very simple. Unless you're me. I forgot to attach my written application, so I sent in a second email, and I don't know if they automatically filtered me out because I sent more than one email, or if my singing just sucked, but I did not receive the in-person location. To make it worse, this is most likely the audition that Yoonjin passed before she was put on Produce 48 and eventually debuted in Le Sserafim. So there was a slim chance I could have been on Produce 48 with her if I wasn't so stupid. I did end up seeing her, Sakura, and Kazuha at an ice cream shop in Times Square though. No pics because manager said no, but they posted their ice cream pics on Instagram, and I have this video that I sent to my cousins right after I met them.
Saw Le Sserafim at this Van Lee when they said I couldn't get an autograph, but I saw them and I talked to them and I'm like, oh my fucking god.
The next audition I did was for FNC Entertainment. The format for this was, you go in person, get a number, and get called into the audition room one by one. People were in the waiting room practicing their skills out loud, which makes sense because you'd have to warm up your vocal cords and body, but this was my first time doing anything like this in person. So unlike everyone else, I just sat there, alone, in my chair, whispering the lyrics to the song I chose and trying not to suffocate from nerves. When my number was called, I was basically on autopilot. We had a 30-second time limit, enough for a verse and a chorus, but because of my blunder with Pledis, I didn't know if my singing was the issue, and I got so self-conscious about it that I did the unthinkable. I rapped. Oh my god, I was so cringe. I chose the song August D, and I am so happy that there are no recordings of me rapping out there because this is the darkest stain on my history. So when will I hear back from you? Give it a week. After that, I auditioned for Stone Entertainment, which basically went the same way in terms of format, except I went back to singing this time. But the nerves got to me, and my voice was really shaky, so give it a week. And then came one of the big 3, JYP. This one was so much more nerve-wracking because instead of going in one by one, they straight up invited 5 people into the judging room at a time. It was a quick fire, you, go! Okay, next!
Shaw!
Next! I was so not built for this audition, so of course, my voice was shaky again. A week. And finally came Entertainment. Sorry, I gotta censor because Korea's defamation laws are crazy. And I'm gonna talk shit later. We were back to the one-on-one auditions, and I made friends with the girls waiting in line with me, and we talked about how self-conscious we were about being older applicants. Mind you, we were both still teenagers. By this audition, I was already getting used to the process, and it actually felt fun. I'd go into the audition room, introduce myself, and sing the song Star Blossom. I was still a little nervous, but my voice didn't shake as much as it used to, and I thought I did pretty decent. With barely a moment to pass, the staff speaks. Oh, I just memorized the lyrics. So tell us about yourself. I like to draw, and I love my dog, and my favorite food is banh mi. Okay. Do your parents approve? My mom approves, and my dad just wants me to finish high school first. Okay, yeah, I lied a bit, because my dad actually wanted me to finish college first, and my mom did not approve. But I already felt like a hag at this point, so I was trying to lock it down, you know? Then the evaluator says something else to the translator. He looks a bit troubled. I'm getting a little worried because I don't know what's got him making that expression. Did I fail? Did I suck? Are they going to tell me to quit going to auditions and never waste a company's time like this again? He takes a deep breath, looks at me and says, "You would be so much prettier if you were skinny." Now, if you're normal, you would hear this and realize how messed up it was. But I was prepared. Since birth, my almond mother had been dosing me with fat-shaming comments, and I didn't understand why back then, but now I knew it was all in preparation for this very moment. And when you're into K-pop for a while, you unfortunately get desensitized to it. It's extremely common for people in this industry to be so underweight that they lose their periods. So when I heard those words, all I processed was, she thinks I'm pretty. After the questioning came the pictures. I was told to stand in 90, 45, and front angles to have both my body and headshot pictures taken. And if they just gave me a placard, it would literally just look like I was going to prison, which may not be far off. When I pushed through the doors of the audition room, my eyes adjusted back to the light of the hallway. Everyone was staring at me, and it sank in that I spent 10 times longer in that room than any other applicant. A staff member started ushering me to a different room and told me to download KakaoTalk. I was praying that he wouldn't notice just how shaky and sweaty my hands were. If this all goes well, I'll start training, and I can debut in a group and I'll be a K-pop idol, in the same company as one of my favorite girl groups. And wow, isn't it so funny that they didn't tell me to wait a week? That night, I asked my parents to pick me up, and I couldn't hold back the news. Aren't you gonna congratulate me? The rest of the car ride was silent. Honestly, I should have expected that reaction because I knew they didn't really approve. But whatever, I still passed, and I wasn't going to let them stop me from being happy for myself. Side note, people really show their true colors when stuff like this happens. Going to auditions regularly means that you'll see the same faces, because you guys share the same dream. There's this one guy I'd always see and never really talk to, until he saw that I passed an audition, and all of a sudden he wanted to be my best friend. But he was kind of weird. He started self-deprecating, saying stuff like, I don't know why I'm failing. Am I not good at singing? Am I ugly? Man, I don't know. I'm not the company. He then started shit-talking my favorite group, so I cut him off and good riddance, and I'm happy he never passed any auditions. When I got home, I was just chilling, waiting for the company to message me, really nonchalant about it. Hello, thank you for applying and congratulations on passing the audition. The next steps in the process are to monitor 3 things. Vocals, please send a clip of you singing every 2 weeks so we can track your progress. Okay. Dance, also send a clip of you dancing every 2 weeks. Both videos should be a verse and a chorus. Okay. Wait, please lose 20 pounds in 2 months and send pictures. Bro, I'm not a diet expert by any means, but even I know that number seems pretty unrealistic. Also, what pictures? Do you want no clothes? ? Please send pictures with tight clothing. Whew, okay. But alas, this is the industry I signed up for. And so I started my weight loss journey. Okay, it was more like mental illness. I'm not gonna get into exactly what I did, but yeah, every forbidden jutsu you're not supposed to do for weight loss, I was doing it. So of course, it caught up with me. I remember one day in particular, I was too physically weak to go to school, had a huge scuffle with my mom, and the stress levels got to a point that I just mentally checked out. I continued sending videos of me singing and dancing, but the staff never commented on them. They just purely focused on my weight. I started being lax with the weight loss, and when you don't eat a lot, your body basically goes into survival mode and holds on to every calorie because it doesn't know when the next time it'll get proper fuel is. So I basically undid all of my weight loss in an instant. I told the company that I'd need more time because of my health, but once I started eating regularly again, I remembered how good food was, and I just couldn't stop. At first, there was a very PR response from the company, all blah 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 blah, take care of your health first. And then not much later, the message I knew was coming came. Unfortunately, we'll be unable to continue contact with you due to your health. Yeah, just call me fat, I don't care. But this was actually a blessing in disguise. The company I almost joined had one girl group that I liked. They debuted right before I auditioned. They were kept in the dungeon for years, then disbanded, and the company has not debuted a new girl group since. So if I lost the weight and signed that contract, I would have been in that dungeon to this day. I'd be stuck with no phone, no college education, and an insanely large trainee debt. Cause oh yeah, you actually have to pay the company for your training. The money is supposed to be from your first few paychecks after your debut, but being a trainee does not guarantee that you even make the final lineup. This company was terrible at managing their artists, and it was a very large contrast from the shiny, idealized K-pop world that I had in my head. And you know what? It's fine that I didn't get to be a trainee, because as I got older, the abuse that these kids face in the industry is far more than I could have handled, and I put my goal of being a K-pop idol to the side. Luckily, there was still some good that came out of this experience. Before I lost contact with the company, I participated in a scholarship competition and wrote an essay about how or is a little cringe, about how BTS inspired me to audition and how passing was going to change my life and allow me to perform on stage just like them. You know, a lot of fluff. I won $2,000 and used that money to buy a new PC and become a streamer instead. So I found a new passion. A passion that allows me to eat, sleep, and play video games however much I want. And thus concludes my K-pop arc. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and eat whatever you want. Bye!